Now, for more on this story, we're joined by Ntombizonke Mgangala, who is the aunt of one of the victims, and Khululekile Ncandana, father of Bongolwetu, also deceased, and they'll get us their reaction to what the MEC was saying. Good evening to you, and thank you very much for your time and for joining us tonight here on In Focus, and we appreciate you coming on. Dr. Ncandana, let me begin with you. The MEC saying, as families, you've been engaged thoroughly, not only at a overall level of the outcomes, but at a per family level where verbally you were presented with the outcomes. Was that sufficient for you?
Thank you very much. That was not sufficient for us because prior to the meeting of the first, we had another meeting in which we agreed that each and every family will have a copy of that report for each child.
The MEC says you are more than welcome to have gone to the South African Police Service to request that hard copy. Have you done so?
Why should we go to the SAPS to request the report? Because the report, as we believe, it belongs to the parents of the kids who deceased in that place. Why should we now have to apply to SAPS for us to get that report? Secondly, I've heard the MEC saying that they never said that the report was confidential. That the MEC was not there first thing. She was not there. We were not dealing with the MEC. We were told that the report is confidential. That's the reason why it was only the parents who were in that meeting. And on the reports themselves, they even showed us the top part of the report. It says confidential, so no one can see the report. That's what is written on the report itself. So for now, for the MEC to make a U-turn and say there's nothing that they say the report was confidential, it amazes us all. I don't know what is she trying to say or what is she trying to achieve.
Yeah. Mamu Mgangala, where you're sitting, I mean, are you clear on what the cause of death was of your nephew, is it, Usinotando? Did the government make that clear to you? You don't have to say it here, but at least as the family yourselves, are you clear on what the cause of death was? Okay, we could be having a challenge there with that connection. I think we have lost her. So we'll try and get her back. And Ntombizonke Mgangala, aunt of Sinotando, one of the deceased. But we still have with us Tata Khululekile Ncandana. Tata, the reason why they are saying this is, of course, staying with the police. One is that now there is an inquest. So in other words, they are now investigating a murder. And hence, they are saying this is how the government of South Africa treats matters that have now become an inquest. As a family, is that an adequate response for you?
As a family, I don't think that is an adequate response. Because, you know, when things like this happen, you need to engage with the people who are involved to let them know beforehand as to what is going to happen from there going forward. Not to tell the people in the last minute when they are in the meeting that this is what is going to happen. They didn't even want us to look at the reports themselves.
So you were sitting in a room and literally they were reading out what the report was saying, and you were not even given an opportunity to peruse this report yourselves?
Not at all. We didn't even peruse those reports, even the reading part of it. It was only a few things that were written to us, not the whole report.
Why do you think this is how the department chose to handle this particular matter? I mean, in your view, we could be purely speculating here, but as a family, I'm sure you're having questions yourself. But why do you think they are handling this matter in such a way?
Well, we really don't know. They are the one who know why they are handling this matter this way. We also would like to know why are they handling it this way? Because when you engage with people, you had an agreement with them. If you don't meet the agreements, you come to them beforehand and say to them, this is how is this going to be handled, and this is how we're going to do it going forward. That never happened. That's the problem. That never happened. I mean, to be told in the last minutes when you are in the meeting that this is how is it going to be handled. I mean, all the parents were shocked.
Yeah.
And they were not happy about the way how it was handled.
And what have the parents resolved to do? I mean, as parents, have you resolved to take any action on this, or are you still standing by your call to say you want them to bring the report to you? You're not going to go and apply for it?
Well, as parents, we still have to meet and see which way to go forward from here, because we really need to have those reports, because those reports belong to us. And another thing, we do understand that there are still investigation going on with SAPS. That thing is really, it is clear with us. But what they needed to do when they called us to say to us they are going to give us the final reports, they needed to engage with us and tell us exactly how is it going to happen, how is it going to unfold.
Right. Mama Mgangala, I hope you can hear me. Yeah? I see your line is back. You got an explanation, Mama, from the department as to the cause of death.
Yes.
What is your feeling about the explanation that you were given? If you can hear me, what is your feeling? Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
I was not happy. I don't want... Yes, okay. I was not happy about the explanation. And I am also not happy about what the MEC is saying right now here. Firstly, to say the results were not confidential during the presentation of the results, that it is confidential. That was the first thing that we were assured of, that
yeah, massive challenges with that line there. Oh, Mama, so sorry about this line. Is letting us down there, Mama Mgangala, Aunt of Sinotando. It's not at all cooperating with us. But, as maybe we are wrapping it up, there is talk that you would want to take this matter to the Constitutional Court, at least as a collective of the parents. Is that something that you're still exploring?
Well, as the parents, as I've said before, we still have to meet, and also we will also seek some legal advice as to where to from here, because we really feel that we were treated unfairly the way it was handled. I mean, to hold something from the people that this belongs to, I think it is totally unfair. When you say you are going to give the parents the final report, we expected to get the final report. We expected to get the copies of that report, because we believe that those reports, they belong to us as parents as well. As much as they have give some of those to SAPS as they were still investigating, or there's still some inquest that is going on. But what about the custodian of those reports? Yeah. Because we, as parents, are the custodian of those reports. So we most definitely, then if we are not happy about something, then definitely there are steps that we will need to take going forward. But those are the steps that we cannot take by ourselves. That's why we will have to seek some legal advice.
Now, As far as you're concerned, as we wrap up, do you think that this government is fighting for your children? I mean, in how they're handling this matter?
Personally, I think they are not. I mean, when this tragedy started, most of the government people were always there talking about this. But a couple of weeks after that incident, you can see by yourselves that no one from the government side is talking about that anymore. They made big promises to say that they will make sure that they will follow each and every step to make sure that the families get closure, that the families get the report. But now what do you hear? You don't hear them anywhere. All you hear the parents complaining, and you hear the cry of the parents because they are not happy by the way that this is being handled.
Yeah. Mgangala, thank you very much for that. Mgangala, I think we've got you on the line now.
Yes.
Do you think they are hiding something? Do you think they are concealing something in how you have been given this report?
Yeah, the way they have presented it to us is making us to be suspicious. Already, we were already suspicious even before, because firstly they called us to say they are giving us the report, and surprisingly when we got there they gave us the preliminary report, which was not communicated to us prior inviting us to the meeting. And secondly, they did the same thing again to call us, promising to give us the final report. On the again, it was something else. So now the treatment that they gave us on that day was not surprising, because whenever they are calling us, we always expecting surprises. We always expecting such things. For the result to be confidential for us as parents, it's really making us, giving us a lot of suspicions and not believing that they are giving us the real thing. For sure, there is something that is hidden beyond this whole thing. Remember, they ruled out Stampet in their initial reports that they gave us.
That's right.
They made it clear to us that Stampet is out. But today, here we are. The Stampet has come back, because for me, there's no difference between crushing and Stampet and suffocation. It's still the same thing that they said they have ruled out. So how could you feel if you were in my shoes? And also looking at the way they are treating us. For an example, they knew well in advance that we are not going to get the routine report about the results. Yet they decided to be quiet about that until we got into the meeting, where they told us that we are not going to get the results because they are not for us. They are only going to verbally tell us. You were not even allowed to touch the papers. You were not even allowed to read what they are telling you. When you ask detailed information about what they were telling us, they couldn't give you. They will tell you that the details are not for us now. We are only here to give you only the cause of death. The details, you will only get them when the SAPS or NPA you have made that application and you are issued that. So how would you feel? How could you trust such thing? That's the situation. And to add on what I'm saying, they corrected our death certificates. Because if you remember, our death certificates were written under investigation.
Yes. So
now on that meeting, there was Home Affairs who was there to correct the death certificate, so that we know that cause of death is going to be changed to unnatural. When we were there, we were never told that we are going to pay 20 rands for the certificates. Surprisingly, when we got to Home Affairs,
Yeah.
We cannot get those certificates because we are supposed to be paying 20 rands in order for us to get the correct death certificates. How could you trust such people, guys?
Mama?
This is the situation that we are in as these parents.
Unfortunately, we are out of time, so we're going to have to leave it there. But thank you very much, and thank you for ventilating that and voicing that out so articulately and so clearly. That is Ntombizonke Mgangala joining us there on the line, and Thando, one of the deceased. We also thank Utata Khululekile Ncandana, father of Bongolwethu, also one of the deceased. This, of course, responding to the response we got earlier on from the MEC of the Department of Health in the province.